very good morning to you. It is 7 a.m. Thursday, November 6th, 2025. Welcome to ONNJ Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We will take your calls, 888-658-0234. But Ken, what do you want me to call about? Shoot the breeze. Let's just chat. Mixed sun and clouds today, but dun 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 dun. Only some people will get that reference. Windy. The wind will make it feel chilly. Highs, low 50s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta. First check of the Garden State forecast. Mike, there were winds on some parts of the tri-state close to hurricane force, correct?
Very close to hurricane strength. Yeah, they had some really gusty winds. Even here in New Jersey, gusts approaching 50 miles per hour last night. So if you wake up this morning looking for the garbage can, you might be looking for a while because the gusts still at this hour climbing into the 20, 30 mile per hour range. It's actually promoting some power outages, anywhere from 1 to 5,000 customers without power right now through Sussex, Morris, Warren County, even through Hunterdon County, and sporadic power outages down the shore as a result. So widespread winds last night, not just across New Jersey, but most of the Northeast. And what we're left with this morning is a very dry and cool feel. 46 degrees in Morristown right now, 46 in Toms River. The temperature pretty uniform across the state thanks to those gusty winds. It's running actually a few degrees warmer than this time yesterday because the winds are still out of a westerly and northwesterly direction. The air is very dry. It certainly feels like November. And with a few sprinkles that came across the state last night, now we clear things out. That was the front drying us out and making it feel cooler. With the wind, there's a touch of a wind chill. Knocks off about 3 or 4 degrees. Not too terrible, but it makes it feel quite cool and breezy this morning. The winds eventually relax by this afternoon. So we'll still be in the 20, 30 mile per hour range into the midday. And then once we get into the late part of the afternoon, you'll see that temperature drop as the winds start to relax as well. Would you believe it's another windy day tomorrow? But this time, tomorrow's winds come out from the south. So while gusts will be upwards of 30 and 40 miles per hour down on LBI, even upwards of 25 miles per hour toward Morristown, look at that wind direction, pushing in all of that warm and mild air in from the south, helping our temperatures climb back to near 70 degrees tomorrow. A very warm finish to the day. That leads to a pretty warm start to the weekend, and then it cools down just a bit. So here's the futurecast showing temperatures, with the temperatures cooling off tonight back into the 40s. It'll be a cool start tomorrow morning, not terribly chilly, but with the winds blowing in from the south tomorrow, yes, it starts off cool, but we skyrocket into the upper 60s and maybe even low 70s before another round of wet weather gets us later tomorrow night, clearing out for Saturday with that mild wind direction remaining. And yes, it'll be quite mild throughout the first half of the weekend. I think Saturday night into Sunday could cool off a little bit, predominantly because of some light rain that comes through. So you see those showers move on by. With it, a little bit of a milder trend still for the second half of the weekend, albeit a little bit more damp. And then we finish out the period Sunday night into Monday with another round of cooler weather. So it's this roller coaster temperature that takes us cool today, warm tomorrow, warm on Sunday, and then back to the chill by Monday. I think you can more easily see it on the 7-day forecast, comparing day by day. We'll show you that coming up, Ken, with another check of your forecast in a few minutes.
Wow. I just can't. I'm still thinking about the Stony Brook, Long Island, 70 miles an hour.
Mhm.
I know last night I went to put the garbage out, man. It was like almost got taken away. It was incredibly strong, but
Yes,
unreal. This is the change of seasons, right? Temperature clashes. Thank you,
it is.
Mike. Appreciate it, sir. We will check back. 49 degrees. And again, there's still a light breeze. So it feels all of the 49. Believe me, 40, that's 49 northern New Jersey, 46 in Trenton. In terms of traffic, let's take a look at 76. This is as you make your way toward Philadelphia. I-76 eastbound at exit 1A. We have a disabled vehicle. This is by the 295 merge in Belmar. The ramp lane is closed, and that's what it's causing right there. You see on your screen. Just a reminder, we talked about this yesterday. A lot of people are vacationing. They're traveling out of town this week. And because you had Veterans Day, you had school days off, people, election day, I should say, people voting. As a result, I notice all the airport parking lots normally at 50% capacity. They're at 98%. So one of them here, JFK's lots are almost all full. They're at capacity. So if you are driving to one of the area airports, and you're going to park your car, make sure you have a reserved parking space somewhere. So that's very important. You don't want to get there late for your flight or almost late and you can't park. We also have a downed wire or down wires on Route 46 westbound east of Knowlton Road in Knowlton Township. The right lane of 2 lanes closed, causing just a little slowdown as you go around that bend right there. You can see. And we have delays on Route 21 northbound from Miller Street to Clay Street, Mount Pleasant Avenue, Newark. All lanes are open. Finally, delays on the Turnpike, local and express roadways northbound from south of exit 71 Broad Avenue, Leonia to the GWB. Just a 2-mile delay due to volume. Other Hudson River crossings overall, we're looking at 30 minutes at the Lincoln, only 15 to 20 at the Holland, GWB approach 8095, and that's what you got. So right now, the lower levels on the left, and that is showing about a 35-minute crossover time on the right. We got 35 minutes as well to the upper level. It is 7:05, and 2 young men from Montclair were arrested in connection with an ISIS-inspired terror plot uncovered in the state of Michigan. This is a little confusing, so follow along. The two 19-year-olds, upper middle class, wealthy, comfortable, described as preppy, very handsome. They were identified as Tomas Khan Jimenez Guzel and Milo Sedarat. Investigators say they are upper middle class. They live in multi-million-dollar Victorian homes, yet they were involved in ISIS. The plot allegedly targeted LGBTQ-friendly locations in Detroit and involved weapons and tactical gear found in raids. It looks like they may have been um, uh, taken in, if you will, by ISIS psychologically and radicalized because they come from comfortable homes. They didn't have any history of this, but the allegation is that they were trained to be anti-LGBTQ and had all sorts of terror plots going on. One of the New Jersey men is the son of a prominent Iranian American poet, drawing attention to the likelihood that he had been radicalized. Acting New Jersey U.S. Attorney Alina Habba explained the charges.
The first suspect is charged with conspiring to provide material support to a designated terrorist organization. The second suspect is charged with transmitting violent, anti-Semitic threats across the internet to individuals in the state of New Jersey and beyond. The threat of terrorism is real. When Americans are threatened, we respond fast.
The case highlights ongoing concerns about domestic terrorists inspired by international extremist groups. 7:07 right now. The Schumer Democrat government shutdown is now in its 37th day, officially the longest in the history of the United States. The previous record was 35 days, but could we be nearing an end? Remember, we said this. We said, just wait till Election Day passes. Suddenly, the Democrats are going to say, okay, because they thought the shutdown would help them. Maybe it did. Maybe that's what helped them. Now that the election is over, now suddenly they want to talk. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries mysteriously are now demanding a meeting with President Trump. The Democrats say they've been holding out for an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, but the bill before the Senate is not for that. It's only for a continuing resolution that would reopen the government so the legislature can actually debate things like the Affordable Care Act. The Democrats want it both ways. They want to keep the government shut down, and they want to debate a new budget outside of the ordinary means, which is actually not legal. If you were to debate when the government is shut down, anything you say is not binding. The shutdown is impacting real Americans, such as SNAP recipients and air traffic controllers working for no pay. Economists say the shutdown is costing the nation billions of dollars each week. In fact, there were, in some cases, 50% of all flights canceled or delayed yesterday at major airports around the country because of a lack of air traffic control. And of course, we had the high winds throughout much of the Northeast. 7:09, President Trump urging Republican senators to terminate the Senate filibuster rules so the continuing resolution can be passed quickly to reopen government. Texas Senator John Cornyn suggested maybe it could be done. He may want to talk to President Trump about it. Listen up.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation.
Well, Republicans do hold a 53 to 45 majority in the Senate, but under Senate rules, you have to have 60 votes to prevent a filibuster. What the president is saying is change that. Just have a simple majority of 51. But the problem is if you have a future Democrat majority in the Senate, then the Republicans would have no say in what goes on. So you have to think very carefully before you do that. The Department of Homeland Security announced the end of temporary protected status, or TPS, as it's called, for South Sudanese nationals currently in the U.S., affecting about 5,000 people. The protections were put in place in 2011, back when they had instability in their government, but that's all been healed. And now things are calm in South Sudan, but the people stayed here. So there's a 60-day grace period provided. See, people just thought that once we're in the U.S., we'll just stay. No, it was temporarily to protect you from the craziness, the Civil War. But now the Civil War is over. Go home. We love you, but go home. DHS came to the decision after seeing the improved security there, and the administration has already looked at revoking TPS designations for other countries, such as Haiti, Syria, and Venezuela. The election of Zohran Mamdani as mayor of New York is signaling a significant shift in the way Wall Street does business. Mamdani is a Democratic socialist and has proposed policy changes, including higher taxes on upper income earners. By the way, he's saying if you earn $1 million or more. In New York City, a lot of people earn $1 million or more. Years ago, $1 million was like, wow. $1 million is good, but it's not what it used to be. He wants to have give outs of freebies like bus service and government paid daycare, freeze on rent, all things the mayor doesn't really have any authority to do. Now, many are looking to locate from New York City into places like Florida. One real estate agent in Florida says they have now booked $100 million in real estate sales from New Yorkers in the last month. So if you want to buy something in Florida, you better act fast, or else you're going to be stuck in Mamdani's world. It is 7-Eleven. A group of Democrat members of Congress, 24 of them, sent a letter to Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian about the potential use of AI to set individualized ticket prices. Lawmakers voiced concern that AI could enable what is called surveillance-based price discrimination. That is, if they see you normally buy expensive things, then you can afford an expensive ticket, so they'll charge you more. Delta denies, saying they've used that, but everybody's going to be keeping an eye on it now. And the U.S. Supreme Court announced it would hear challenges to President Trump's tariff authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The case is being fast-tracked. The whole question now is whether the president and the executive branch has the authority to perform tariffs like that, because it's usually Congress that has that authority. And Xenia Monet, an artist created using AI, became the first AI-driven act to debut in a U.S. Billboard chart. The single "How Was I Supposed to Know" reached number 30 on the adult R&B airplay chart and hit number 1 on the R&B digital song sales chart. It's a computer. That's not a human. That's all computer generated, raising all sorts of concerns about copyright, production credits, and what constitutes a musical artist. 7:12 right now, mixed sun and clouds today, windy. Winds will make it feel chilly, highs low 50s. Mike will be back with the full Garden State forecast. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings on your Thursday, 7:13. Don't go away.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings for your Thursday. I'm Ken Rosato at 7:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Mixed sun and clouds today. The wind is going to make it feel very chilly, and we mean wind. I mean, like real gusts. Highs in the low 50s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State Forecast. I just want to say a shout out and a thank you to my friends at Quick Check. We have a Quick Check near here, and since they open, I get my coffee. I mean, it sounds like a shameless plug, but it's not a lie. I get my coffee and donuts and bagels and everything from there because it's right here. And then I realized this stuff is really good. So they have a sandwich out now. It's I got to get the official name of it, but it's basically
Right.
Thanksgiving on a sandwich. They have turkey,
Oh, that's
cranberry,
right. That
stuff.
comes out this
Yeah.
time of year. Yes.
All right, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So they just
He's
they
getting
just
the
sent one
sandwich.
over. Thank you, Quick Check. Listen, it's
Ken,
and
my
it's
mouth is
warm. It
watering.
is. They just made it. It is warm.
And that's hard
I
to
may
do in
have.
weather this cold.
Yes, no, remember we ordered Quick Check about 4 months ago,
Remember.
and
Yep.
they had it here in about 17 minutes from when I placed the order. That's how fast they got it here during morning rush. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt your time. I just want to show, just to prove that. Look, it's still. You can see it's glistening, sweaty. It's still. Oh my God, my mouth is just.
All right. Well, Ken
Oh
fogs up
hell.
his glasses as he dives into that sandwich. I'll give you an extra minute with weather so you can savor the
Thank you, buddy.
Thanksgiving on a
I'll see you
bun. You
later.
bet.
See you later.
Well, hey, there were some very gusty winds this morning. Like Ken mentioned, peak wind gusts across the area reached 70 miles per hour out on Long Island. But here in New Jersey, we had a 51 mile per hour gust. Down on LBI in Beach Haven, 49 miles per hour in Sandy Hook. And that is not good. 47 mile per hour crosswinds there at the runways of Newark Airport. 47 miles per hour down in Harvey Cedars. That leading to some power outages. 5.5% of customers up in Sussex County, 4.5% of customers in Warren County, and almost 1% of customers in Morris County have power outages as of 7:17 this morning. So big winds today, but the winds eventually relax. And that shade of blue you see in northeastern New Jersey, that's a frost advisory for you for later on tonight as the weather turns quite chilly going into tomorrow morning. You see the radar showing a few showers that we had last night. Those are long gone, so we'll wake up to mostly sunny skies and bring back more sunshine as the day goes along. Also see winds diminish in through this afternoon. So 55 in Freehold will feel more pleasant without those gusty winds, but there's still a bit of a wind chill going into tomorrow morning. It'll be chilly, and then the rest of the forecast period and through Saturday and Sunday, it's actually quite mild. By Monday, that's where the wind chill returns, waking up with 24 degrees. That's what it'll feel like on the green in Morristown, 24 by Flemington Circle there in Flemington or Huntington County, and 28 degrees in Trenton. So a really chilly start to next week as we get a big dose of cold air that comes in by the end of this weekend. Looking forward to the clearing throughout today. Not much going on the radar picture through this afternoon into tomorrow. I think this line of showers and clouds off to our west eventually comes in by tomorrow evening, giving us a quick shot of rain. That's kind of been the case each and every night. We get like a 20-minute shower and then it moves on by. It's kind of hard to wash the car because then it's dirty the next morning with the few raindrops that fell. That'll be the case again tomorrow night. Waking up on Saturday with a milder start, 66. Some places could make a run for 70. And then by Sunday afternoon, an early morning shower, but then I think some sun breaks out by the afternoon. So an improvement to the forecast over the coming days in terms of temperature. And then it gets really chilly come next week. We'll detail that cold snap coming up on the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right. I wish I could tell you without using too much of our time how good that bite was. All I would say is if you like Thanksgiving food, you know how, especially around Thanksgiving time, turkey and stuffing and all tastes good. And then like a month later, you're like, I had enough.
Yeah,
Right
you've had
now
enough,
is
sure.
crave time. It's crave time. And if you
Oh,
haven't tried the
that
bread at
helps.
Quick Check, I don't know where they even have like Portuguese rolls because they're to New
Oh,
Jersey. They
I
got
could
like,
tell you where they make it. They make it at Texera's Bakery in Newark.
there you go. There you go.
And
Great
that has
Portuguese,
delivered daily to
amazing
all of
Portuguese bread.
the 100 or so Quick Check locations around the tri-state. Yeah, I got a little seminar, a class on that earlier last. That was in the summer, in the spring. Yeah.
In case you think I'm full of baloney that I took a bite, I don't mean to show a bite on there. I took a bite. And this thing is loaded with cranberry and stuffing and turkey. I mean, and it's a cranberry roll. Have you ever? That's just amazing. Anyway, I'm using a lot of time
Never.
here. Go to your quick check. Test this out. I'll be biting through the morning, I promise. It's still warm and delicious. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. And of course, I'm talking so much, my traffic computer just went down because I nudged it. Here we go. I got it back. All right. In terms of traffic, let's see what we got here. Route 46 west. I'm sorry. I was going to do 76 first. Let's see. We have a disabled vehicle 76 eastbound at exit 1A, which is 295 in Belmore. The right ramp lane is closed. You can see the traffic there on the right side slowing down as a result. JFK Airport and several other airport parking lots in the tri-state are at 97 to 98% capacity. People are flying out of town this week. So if you are driving to your airport to get out of town, make sure you have a reserved parking spot. We also have issues on Route 46. In fact, two different ones. There's a crash on 46 westbound at Rifle Camp Road in Little Falls. The left shoulder is impacted and the left lane closed. And we have down wires on 46 westbound east of Knowlton Road in Knowlton with the right lane closed as well. Your GWB upper and lower level approaches right now still on the heavy side. In fact, let's tell you about the Lincoln Holland first. Lincoln is 25 to 30. Holland is 20. Now we look at the GWB upper and lower. 80-95 approach, kind of slow, but still moving. 35 to 40 on the lower, and it's 30 to 35 on the upper. And hey, you on the shoulder, we saw that. We got your license plate. 7:21 is our time. And Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill has met with outgoing Governor Phil Murphy. They met yesterday. Murphy used the opportunity to congratulate his fellow Democrat and pass the torch to her. The two met up in the New Jersey State House in Trenton, where Murphy has an office. Sherrill will have that office. Sherrill used the opportunity to tell members of the press that she was assembling her transition team. She will become the state's first female Democrat to hold a governor's seat. Republicans already had, of course, Christy Todd Whitman in that position decades ago. Sherrill named Kelly Doucette, her former congressional district director, as the executive director of her transition team, and Lieutenant Governor-elect Dale Caldwell was named as the chairman of the team. The FAA is reducing air traffic by over 44,000 flights a day across 40 cities ahead of the peak travel holiday season. That starts tomorrow. Following weeks of major flight delays at the nation's airports due to the government shutdown, the FAA announced it would reduce air traffic by 10% across 40 high-volume markets to maintain safety. Air traffic controllers have been working unpaid since the government shutdown began October 1st, with some calling out of work. Staffing shortages during some shifts have led to flight delays at a number of U.S. airports, including here at Newark Liberty. Yesterday, travel chaos hit across the U.S. with major flight delays. 17 major airports could experience delays of up to 7 hours lasting through the morning today. The average wait time expected to be 2 hours, 20 minutes. So check ahead before you go rushing to the airport. 7:23, federal investigators looking into the deadly UPS cargo plane crash in Kentucky will closely examine the aircraft's maintenance records and data recorder after finding that one of the engines fell off during takeoff. You could see it right there. Usually, though, if one engine falls off, horrible. So apparently the engine fell off that left wing on takeoff, and that causes instability. So you figure the weight of the wing, it tilts one way or the other. Sometimes they overcompensate, and that's what it looks like. It looks like the weight of the wing where the engine still was pulling, and the pilot may have overcompensated and then lost control. Awful. May they rest in peace. 12 people were injured. 12 people were killed. 20 others were injured. That disaster shut down the largest UPS package distribution hub and disrupted some flights into and out of the airport in Louisville. That is the largest city in Kentucky. Very, very sad. They continue searching for potential victims in the industrial area where that happened. Two young men from Montclair were arrested in connection with an ISIS-inspired terror plot uncovered in Michigan. The two 19-year-olds identified as Tomas Khan Jimenez Guzel and Milo Sedarat. Investigators say they're upper middle class, live in multi-million-dollar Victorian homes. The plot allegedly targeted LGBTQ-friendly locations in Detroit and involved weapons and tactical gear found in raids. One of the New Jersey men is the son of a prominent Iranian-American poet, drawing attention to the likelihood he may have been radicalized. Pam, we're going to go to the following story. Gunfire erupted in Camden Tuesday night, leaving a police officer shot. Police had just stopped a pedestrian on Congress Road at Chesapeake Road when investigators say a man pulled out a gun and shot the officer in his left arm. A sergeant on the scene fired back, shooting 25-year-old Marquise Jones, who is now in critical condition. He was charged with attempted murder. The officer who was shot is expected to recover. A number of New Jersey polling locations received emailed bomb threats on Election Day, and investigators say many of them came from Russian email addresses. Counties affected, including Bergen, Essex, Mercer, and others. Law enforcement secured voting sites so people still could get to the polls. The email threats appear to be part of a pattern of voter intimidation. 725 NJ Transit looking for a tenant to anchor the newly restored Lackawanna Ferry Terminal in Hoboken, part of the larger Hoboken Connect redevelopment project. The building is being transformed into a modern multi-use destination for events, cultural activities, and community gatherings. Vendors can pitch to be part of the redesign. They have another 5-6 weeks or so till December. The restored terminal includes 50,000 square feet of leasable space. The project is part of a renovation of the Hoboken waterfront. And the New Jersey YMCA State Alliance is launching what they call the Bright Path Youth Mental Health Program through their charitable wing to bring mental health support to kids in after-school programs across the state. The initiative is funded by a $200,000 grant from Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. The program will launch at 21 YMCA after-school sites, and that will reach about 350 kids who really need it. Nearly 1 in 5 U.S. children ages 3 to 17 experience mental, emotional, or behavioral challenges. And yes, we're talking about food today. Food is good. Well, do you like nachos? I love nachos. In fact, I love food, but I love nachos. Today is National Nacho Day. Yes, National Nacho Day. I think I'm going to weep. Taqueria. Taqueria Mexican Street Kitchen, celebrating National Nacho Day at all 12 New Jersey locations. They're offering a free nacho pie with any order of $35 or more. Their menu, by the way, includes yummy things like burrito boxes, golden avocado tacos, Mexican street corn, love it, and the nacho pie offer. I don't know how I'm going to get through the day without gaining 100 pounds, but yeah, I love my taqueria. Taqueria Mexican Street Kitchen. We got one not far from me here. Let's just say that I have partaken just a few dozen times. Okay. It is 7:27. When we come back, we will speak with New Jersey's own Chef Jesse Jones. See more on the food theme. He'll give us some recipe ideas as we approach the holidays. Phone lines are open, 888-658-0234. Mixed sun and clouds today, very windy. Wind will make it feel chilly. Highs low 50s. The full Garden State forecast with Mike in just a moment. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings, and we will be back in 2 minutes.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
very good morning. It is now 48 degrees at 7:30 Thursday, November 6th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Let's take a look at traffic. We're going to do that first because we have some messes going into the GWB. Let's take a look at that, Pam, the GWB cam, if we could. 8095 approach upper and lower level, very heavy. Now the lower level on the left, we're told 45 minutes into Manhattan, upper level on the right. In terms of weather, it has been very windy overnight and still this morning. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you, Ken. Ken, you have a little gravy right here. I think you went a little hard with that sandwich. Gotta work on that.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Thank you, Quick Check.
It's the quick check delivery, and it delivers smiles, right, Ken? Delivers
Yep.
smiles. Well, you might be gritting your teeth walking into the wind today because it is a gusty breeze this morning. Still have winds in excess of 25, 30 miles per hour. You can see it showing up on the satellite picture. We'll say, how does the satellite show wind? Look at the wind direction here, kind of pushing these clouds out to sea right there as they show up. That is a clear indication that that wind is made pretty strong, allowing for, that wind out of the north and west. So with gusts right now approaching 30 miles per hour in Toms River, it's a breezy start to the morning at 7:31, 25 mile per hour gusts. It's a far cry from the 47 mile per hour gusts earlier this morning over at Newark Airport. So it stays breezy for the first part of the day, but eventually we see those winds relax, even toward the beaches where you had near 50 mile per hour gusts at the beaches overnight. Our forecast today points to a milder feel, even though we won't get to the 59-degree average. Plenty of sunshine through this afternoon, keeping us clear and temperatures warming as those winds slowly relax. But tomorrow is another windy day. Even though we start off really chilly in the morning, look at these winds coming in from the south, aiding in a big warm up, taking our highs about 10 degrees warmer than where we'll be today, and then it'll ending with a few showers tomorrow evening briefly. Saturday afternoon, another warm day, highs approaching 70, 69 in Camden, 69 in Trenton, 67 in Newark. It will feel lovely on Saturday afternoon, and then I think Sunday sees a little bit of a cool down after a brief morning shower. It's all due to these fronts that come through. There's our high that slides by for tonight, giving us clear sky tomorrow, and then the early morning sprinkles on Saturday give way to a nice dry afternoon on Saturday by the end of the day. Sunday starts off with a few early morning sprinkles. That's the warm front pushing on by, giving us a clearing by the end of the day, and then that cold front on Monday really cools us down, dropping temperatures well into the 20s with the wind chill, so a big chill returning. Notice the milder trend over the next few days, culminating at 66 as a statewide average on Saturday. It's not all day rain on Sunday. I think Sunday morning we'll have some showers. We eventually turn dry by the afternoon, and then that's where it gets chilly. Overnight, dropping into the 30s, feeling like the 20s for Tuesday into Wednesday, and staying well below average by at least 15 degrees for the first part of next week. So we start the rest of the week mild into the weekend, and then really chilly going into the first part of next week. It's the change of seasons, Ken, that'll make it feel quite nice. We've got more weather coming up in just a few minutes. Stick around for that with your next On New Jersey weather update.
Jesse Jones is a classically trained chef and author, renowned for his modern approach to Southern cuisine. A native of Newark, Chef Jesse's culinary DNA was developed during childhood summers in Snow Hill, North Carolina, where his grandmother's cast iron stove was the source of many memorable food experiences. Today, he continues to be influenced by her legacy, bridging past and present through interpretive classic Southern dishes with French techniques like nobody else. He is the author of Cow, My Life in 40 Feasts, and now Chef Jesse is the winner of the New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association Community Impact Award. Welcome, my friend, Chef Jesse. Good to have you on.
Oh, thanks for having me again, man. Ken, you make that sound awesome. I need you, but my background, my theme background music, just follow me and say that.
I will. All I want to say is pow. As if
That's
I
it,
you with the
pow.
pow. That's
Yep.
it. So, first off, congratulations on getting the Impact Award. What
Thank
was that about? How did you find out about it? I know you're part of the Restaurant Association for a long time. So,
Right.
talk about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a community impact award. With my it's a program called Pro Start where it's high school students doing culinary, and I've been doing that like a long time, and just impacting from my clients, from cooking with seniors and everything. It's just a blessing. I think the president said, he asked around and my name came up multiple times and
Yeah.
everybody's like, yeah, you got to give it to Jesse, and I think that's God, and my
Yeah.
mother, because I really owe this award to my mother because she was a huge community leader. And when I was growing up, I didn't really understand it then because it's like I felt like, man, you helping people, you can help us. I mean, we can have more, but now I understand, and it's really her award, and I accept it because now I'm out in the community helping where I can, and that's what she did. So I'm excited about that. Sometimes we often say like we see our peers kind of catapulting up over us, and you're like, wow, God, when am I going to get this? But I realize that it's really not about the award. It's about what I do, and so to get the award, just put the icing on the cake. It's just for 30 years. I've been doing this, and I'm so excited. Because I really inspire people because they call and tell me through my food, through my redemption, through issues that I had, and you know what, I realized that all my problems, and then I listen to other problems. I go, you know what, mine's not as bad because some people are homeless, they don't have anything to eat, they got a life-threatening disease. So I'm blessed.
You know what I like to say? If you want world peace, get together a bunch of people and let them sample the food of every culture on the planet. You'll have world peace. Because what better way to learn about everybody else except through food?
That's it.
Doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
it sort of expresses the culture, the history, the traditions of every group of people. And every group is just a little bit off. I mean, Indonesian food is just a little bit off from Thai food. Thai food
Right.
is just a little bit off from Chinese food.
Right.
And they all have their own little spin on stuff. And it's
Yes.
all based on what was around us at the time, right? Whatever was available. People think, well, why is there so much curry? A friend of mine who's an Indian chef told me back in the day, 200 years ago, there was no refrigeration. And if mutton tasted like crap, you put lots of spices on it, and that was the only way to mask some of the taste. They did that
Right.
in French cuisine too. They did it in Italian cuisine.
Oh no,
That was-
absolutely.
That's what gave birth. Garlic, tons of garlic. Just put more garlic on that green crusted lamb, and it'll taste just fine. I mean,
No,
we had
no,
to.
you
We had to
absolutely.
live.
No, you're absolutely right. Just like when I was doing some research in Southern, I mean, same way when they a lot of salt pork, they salt the pork so it won't go bad. Brining it and smoking, because if you smoke it to a certain point, it kind of kills the bacteria, and so you can leave. Like you see some butchers, you go, the smoked meat is out on the counter because the bacterial level is down for the smoke. So and then harvest where they're pickling things. So everything has a purpose, and and you can learn so much.
Yeah, look, Italians still jar tomatoes to this day. And by the way, that's
yeah.
another thing. A lot of people think, they associate tomatoes with Italian cuisine. Tomatoes only made their way to Italy in like the 1600s. Prior to that, and it was the Spanish conquistadors who brought tomatoes from Peru and Colombia back to Spain, and then it made its way through like southern France and then down the coast into Genoa and into Italy. And originally tomatoes, they're called in Italian pomodoro, which means golden fruit. They were
Right.
the yellow tomatoes, and they were high in acid. They were the deadly nightshades. They used to throw them in the garden to kill bugs. It was a pesticide. Nobody ever intended on eating them. Can you imagine, though, Italian cuisine today without tomatoes?
Right, I know, and I make so many different tomato sauces from working with so many different great chefs, and from an intense sauce to back in the day with milling the
Right.
tomatoes and using veal bones and a mirepoix and basil and straining it out and reducing it. So yeah, and putting the cheese in there and everything and the red wine, So it's all different types of way everybody do it,
That, and by the way, I have never seen trays of ribs like yours. Every time you post any kind of rib, I want to love you and I want to hate you because,
Yeah.
well, hate's a bad word, but you know what I mean? Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't smell it and taste it because your food is just so amazing.
Thank
Chef
you, thank
Jesse.
you. You have to try my ribs. You have to
Yeah.
try them one day because they're not only a labor of love, but there's a long years and years of process to trying so many people different ribs to one to make my own ribs. So so when people taste my rib, they go, "Yeah, this from the heart. This redemption. It's everything that they told me I couldn't do, and that I'm doing it."
Which cut do you prefer? St. Louis, baby back? What do you use?
So I like St. Louis. That's my
You get a lot of meat.
I get the spare rib and break it down to a St. Louis because I still like those good old spare rib tips.
Yep, and you could use those tips in other cooking, or you could use them to nibble on as an appetizer at a party.
Or you can
right?
make a stock. You can make whatever. So yeah, but I like
Italians,
to. It
Italians
is a
put that
little.
in tomato sauce. That's what we throw in tomato sauce all the
Oh,
time. It's
yeah,
perfect.
definitely. You could put it in tomato sauce. So Ken, let me ask you: is it Sunday sauce or gravy?
Depends on where you are in Italy.
Here we go, right?
And by the way, it's funny because when Italians came here, they came in two migrations. In the 1880s, 1870s, 1880s, those were the Neapolitans. And then you had some in the 1920s, 1930s. Those were the Northern Italians. And Northern Italians and Southern Italians are as different as Northern U.S. and Southern U.S. in terms of attitude, cooking, the way they look, their bloodlines, totally different. The only thing they had in common was a similar language. It wasn't even the same language.
Right.
So you could have, if you want to have World War III, you don't need to go to the Middle East. Just take a group of Italians at any gathering and say, sauce or gravy, let it go. But the rule is, generally speaking, all gravies are sauces because they start out as a liquid condiment. But not all sauces are gravies because a gravy has to contain a protein. So tomato is a sauce. If you take the tomato sauce and you put bones in it and you put meat in it, now it's a gravy.
It's a gravy,
technically in Italian, it's a ragu or a sugo. That's what you would technically call it. They didn't have a translation in English for sugo or ragu. The French ragu, they use the same word. So what they call it, in Northern Italy, they call it ragu, R-A-G-U, not R-A-G-O-U-T, but it's the same thing as in the French. So here they called it gravy. That's where it came from.
Yeah. That's, it's amazing. Just like you said, the culture of it and learning. And I've worked with a lot of Italian chefs, and everybody got their own different perspective of it. But meatballs to me is gravy. You know what I mean?
That's it.
But you know what? The new sauces that I like, where they're roasting peppers and tomatoes and garlic and just pureeing it up and putting it with some fresh pasta is awesome too.
You're killing me. And by the way, my new favorite sauce, and we're almost out of time here. I gotta let you go, but the new favorite sauce, which has been around for 50 years, but it's now my new favorite, amatriciana sauce with guanciale. That's the pork cheek, which is similar to, oh my God, chef. In my fridge right now, I have 2 containers of that sauce. I probably make a batch of it every week now. It's hard to find guanciale because it's a specialty thing. You don't just go down to the shop, although some ShopRites have it. It is succulent. It's sort of bacony, but not as smoky as bacon. And you get chunks of it through the sauce. And the sauce is just, mine is just San Marzano tomatoes, garlic, onion chopped up. Let that saute down. A little bit of red wine. You have to sear your guanciale and leave every drop of that fat. And there's a lot of it, believe me. You mix it all together and then let the sauce, your tomatoes, crush them and let them cook down, and put in tons of basil after that. Call it a day. It's so good.
That sounds wonderful. I know you're almost out of time, but we got to get together and cook up something one day.
If we don't, my life will end disappointed, Chef. I'm telling you right now.
We got to do it.
Congratulations on the Impact Award. You are the best. Come on again soon. We have to cook together. Chef Jesse, the man, the king of Newark. We appreciate you so much, Chef.
Pow.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. and we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
And welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 7:45. We're taking calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. Periods of clouds and sun today. Windy, a little chilly, highs low 50s. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast. Mike, I'm still eating my quick check sandwiches. They sent like
I
5 sandwiches.
they said what? That's a lot. That's too many sandwiches. Or maybe you
I have
could
to
never have
taste my
enough
way
quick check, I
through.
guess.
I have to
You
taste my
could,
way through. Go ahead. I'll let you
you could
start weather.
start
I'll
them in.
figure it out.
Just work your way from the beginning and keep going on through. But we've got a really chilly forecast ahead today, even though we began the morning quite mild comparative to yesterday. Temperatures holding right now in the upper 40s and low 50s. We only make it into the low 50s this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Very breezy through the rest of the day, at least the first half of the day, before it turns a little calmer by the evening hours. A lot of that warmth forecast for the middle of the month headed toward the Midwest. Do we tap into it? Maybe. Might have a slightly milder weather toward, say, the middle of November. But until then, plan on decently wet weather, especially with these chances of rain that we get over the next few days. By the middle of the month, it could get a little bit drier here across New Jersey. Our forecast for rain returns tomorrow evening with a quick passing shower, and then again on Sunday morning. It's really late Saturday night into Sunday morning. So while this looks like a rainy day on Sunday, no, Sunday is not rainy. I think it starts off a little gray, but gradually transitions to drier throughout the afternoon. Monday and Tuesday is really chilly. We will feel wind chills in the 20s waking up on Tuesday morning, as well as for Wednesday morning. So some really cool weather ahead. That's quite below average, in fact, after a pretty mild stretch, taking us about 5 to 10 degrees above average going through this weekend. So small chances of rain, most of them happening at night, and then by early next week, the chill settles in with temperatures that feel like they're in the 20s to start off next weekend.
All right. Hey, Mike, by the way, among the sandwiches they sent, I think that's a drunken chicken parm. Yeah, so it's like a chicken parm
Okay,
with
I
a
sampled that as well at this little seminar we had. That was one of my favorites. So
it's
good. So enjoy.
like a
Enjoy that.
vodka sauce on it.
You know what it reminds me of, and you'll appreciate this on Bluefield Avenue, Fortes. It tastes like they're drunken pie.
Oh, well,
Hmm.
Fortes is one of my faves of all time. Now
Yeah.
you're talking. I mean, I go there for tripe, but people are going to say, "Hey, tripe, yeah, Fortes, yes." But yeah, so if you want something similar to the sauce right
Hmm.
there, you'd say, "What, a quick check?" Yeah, quick check. They
Yeah.
they really step it up. All right, Mike, we'll be eating our way through. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. It is now 46 degrees northern New Jersey, 46 also in Trenton, and 45 down the shore, Cape May. In terms of traffic, Garden State Parkway has a disabled vehicle now. Check this out. This is northbound. Actually, yeah, northbound north of the Driscoll Bridge and Woodbridge. You can see the part of the right lane is blocked. They had an emergency vehicle behind them. They still have one there, but there were several. I guess it's just being cleared up now, but the car was facing the wrong direction at one point. So, yeah, that's going to be cleared up in a little bit. It's not causing massive delays, but it is causing, you could see a little bit of a slowdown through there. We also have issues related to parking at the major airports. If you are driving to any of the airports in the region, make sure you have a reserved parking space because you may get there and not have one and then miss your flight. So don't do that. And in terms of your Hudson River approaches, Lincoln Tunnel is now 35 minutes across. The Holland is 25. GWB upper and lower level 35 to 40. You could see on the right hand side, the upper level, lower on the left. Upper will give you about a 2 to 3 minute advantage. 7:49 right now. We're heading into the holiday season. It is a time for giving. but also a time when many New Jersey families are feeling more strain than ever before with rising costs and housing pressures, and of course, uncertainty around SNAP benefits, which we're going through with the federal government shutdown right now. The Salvation Army, though, as always, they step up to meet growing needs across the state. They never shut down. They don't have that luxury because they help people in need all the time. Heather Green is the Senior Director of Community Engagement for the Salvation Army New Jersey Division. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning, Ken.
I say all the time, anytime I have any member of your organization on, that when God created the heavens, I know it's come on, stop with the hyperbole, Ken. When God created the heavens, he put a whole section aside for the wonderful ministers of the Salvation Army. Your people, your volunteers are sent from heaven. I'm convinced you're angels dressed as humans, just for the incredible dedication that you all have. Talk about, please, first of all, good morning. Nice to have you. And talk about the level of need that you're seeing right now across New Jersey, please.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, so we have 27 physical Salvation Army church and community centers and an additional 66 service units. So we're uniquely suited to see an increase in need, given that we serve every zip code in the state. We've certainly seen more folks coming to us for food assistance, whether that's through our food pantries. We have 25 of those. More than half are choice pantries or our soup kitchens or our mobile feeding. And the need is so great that we need our partners and our local community members to help us meet it.
And when you say choice centers, they get to go in and shop basically, right? Pick the foods that they need for their family and have the dignity of feeling like they're still taken care and picking out the foods. Not that I'm sure not that anyone is not grateful to get any food, but you give them that little extra notch of dignity to make them feel good about getting food for their families. Again, more empathy and love coming from you folks at Salvation Army. When you get this kind of increased demand and need, though, what does that do to the very limited and strained budgets that you have to deal with?
So last year alone, we were actually able to provide over 6 million meals through those food pantries and soup kitchens and those mobile feeding units. And everyone is tapped right now, and everyone is trying their best to meet this need. And if we're able to do that together and to pool our resources, just think of how many more folks that we can come alongside and provide something so simple as a meal or a box of food. So we are absolutely calling on the community and folks who are watching this show certainly can to visit us at salvationarmynj.org/share hope so that we can turn those dollars into meals into the communities that we are serving.
Can people also come and bring canned goods to you folks? I mean, I go to the Salvation Army in Patterson. That's the one I've gone to over the years and right in downtown, and I bring them clothing all the time. I've gone up and down in clothes. I brought sacks of clothes that still had the tags on them because of my weight loss and gain. I'm like, I know good people who could use this, and they're so grateful and welcoming when I go there. But can you bring boxes of canned foods as well?
We will never turn away food donations. I will say that financial donations are the best just because we can turn that into an actual met need. For example, we like to ask folks, what kind of food do you want to eat? And that's the purpose of the choice pantry. So we can stock that with things that are culturally appropriate, or we'll meet someone's dietary needs. Perhaps someone is diabetic that comes to visit us. So financial contributions are best. However, we're always happy to take food donations, but think of things that you would want to eat, right? Don't grab the can from your cabinet of something that you would never eat. We want to serve folks with our best and not just our leftovers.
Yeah, I love to say when I go shopping, when I go food shopping, we always do it around holiday time. You need it year round. But when I go shopping, whatever I'm buying for myself at that moment for a yummy recipe, that I just buy a couple extra cans, and that's how I donate. And by the way, don't leave the cans on your shelf for a year. Donate them immediately so that they are fresh because cans do go bad after time. But yeah, the easiest way is definitely to make a financial donation. If you're going to give a gift of somebody like a needless useless gift, don't do that. Give $25, give $50 to the Salvation Army instead, and send the person a donation mention. Say, I donated $50 to the Salvation Army in your name. And what a beautiful gift that is, right? To make somebody feel good, especially around the holiday time.
Absolutely. We love to come alongside our neighbors, the folks that we're in the community serving. We don't want to just serve to them, we want to serve with them. So anything that anyone can do to help, again, that's salvationarmynj.org/share hope. That goes right back into the community that you donate from, which is a really neat thing.
And Heather, now beyond donating, what are some other ways that New Jersey residents can help out? Can they volunteer, organize some drives, even just spread awareness on their websites and social media? Kids love their social media. Why not a little hashtag Salvation Army, right?
We would love folks to donate. We often say that our volunteers like donate their time, not just their resources, right? Our volunteers are the army behind the army. That is how we are able to meet the need in all the zip codes in New Jersey. We can't do that with just us. We have to have folks that come alongside and believe in our mission with us to serve folks who are in need. So salvationarmynj.org also is the best place to start if they want to come volunteer alongside us. We would love to see you. But if folks want to use their social media channels or other websites, they can host an online red kettle, those iconic red kettles at Christmas time where you hear the bells or the musicians. You can do that online and have a little competition amongst your friends to see who can raise the most so that we can maximize those dollars and help those in need.
I love the kettles out there with the bells. It just reminds you, it takes you back to a time of yore, if you will, to years ago. I mean, that takes you back 200 years, 150 years, back when I was born, 150 years ago. Every time you come out of the market, you know you got a few extra bucks in your pocket. And by the way, for those who come out of the market and say, "Well, I do everything electronically now," that's why you can go to the website. You can make a donation, right? And it's just very, very easy to go to the Salvation Army website. So with just the minute or so we have left, Heather, why don't you just give everybody that website again for folks to make a donation?
Absolutely. salvationarmynj.org/share hope.
There you go. salvationarmynj.org/share hope. Easy to remember. Heather Green, Senior Director of Community Engagement for the Salvation Army New Jersey Division. Again, I spoke to Heaven just now, and they said that there is a section just for Salvation Army volunteers and workers. You are all sent from heaven. I believe it, and that's no joke. We love you, and we could not be the New Jersey that we are without you. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much, Ken.
You bet. Well, when we come back, a new treatment for the painful effects of lymphedema. For those who don't know that's when the lymph glands swell up. That often happens when you have cancer treatment. When you get radiation therapy, it kills a lot of the lymph nodes, and then they swell up when they're trying to filter out fluids. If you know anyone in your family who's ever had cancer and been treated that way, you know that may be a side effect. Plus, we'll take your calls today at 888-658-0234. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2 minutes.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you catch me drinking my quick check coffee? Pardon me. No shameless plug there. Love my quick check coffee. Nonetheless, good morning. It is 8 a.m. Thursday, November 6th, 2025. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Mixed sun and clouds today. It'll be windy, feel chilly. The wind will definitely make it feel chillier than normally, in spite of the fact the temps are going to be in the low 50s. We head to meteorologist Mike Favetta. Check the full Garden State forecast in some parts of the tri-state. 50-mile-an-hour gusts in New Jersey, but 70 out on the east end of Long Island, right?
Yeah, some very windy conditions, even though up to a 50-mile-per-hour gust over at Newark Airport earlier this morning, even higher at some of the other city airports. So plenty of wind this morning, leading to a little bit of frost later on tonight. The growing season wrapping up here in New Jersey, with the tail end of New Jersey down toward Cape May County seeing that frost tonight, as well as eastern sections of Essex County, Hudson County, and Bergen County later on tonight. So some really chilly weather on the way after what was a windy overnight. Still at this hour, 8:01 this morning, gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour, and leading to some power outages now extending down toward Middlesex County, anywhere from 1 to 5,000 customers in each county without power this morning due to those very gusty winds overnight. So we start off this morning with temperatures right around 50 degrees, not all terribly chilly. It's actually about 9 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, but the air is dry with the dew points nice and low. And after a few quick sprinkles last night, if you wonder why the ground is a little wet or you have some remaining drops on the car, that was a little bit of light rain that came through just after dark last evening. As far as the wind chill, it takes off a few degrees. The wind is strong enough to make it feel like 39 degrees up in Sussex and 41 over in Newark. But as the winds relax this afternoon, it'll feel much more pleasant by the end of the day. So even though it's a very breezy first half of the day, it turns much more calm by this afternoon. And then we get another round of wind tomorrow, but this time it's from the south, pushing in very mild air that will take our temperatures well into the 60s, albeit with 40-mile-per-hour gusts tomorrow as well. So we're not quite done with the wind just yet. We get a quick round of rain tomorrow evening, leading to some drier weather taking over for the rest of the day for Saturday, and that will also keep temperatures nice and mild. So as we wrap up today in the 50s, the winds switch direction later on tonight, moving in from the south, pumping in very mild air for your Friday. Highs will be back up around 60. And then with a quick sprinkle tomorrow evening, we have another round of wind for Saturday, moving in from the south and west. And that will send temperatures into the upper 60s and potentially even nearing 70 degrees by Saturday afternoon. Then for Sunday morning, you get a quick morning sprinkle. That departs by later on in the day. Some of the showers could linger through the midday, but I think it's going to be a dry finish to our Saturday evening, leading to a really chilly start to the day on Monday. We'll get to that part of the forecast coming up with the 7-day. First, the mild half of the forecast, and that'll bring temperatures above average into the weekend. We'll tell you about the big chill, Ken, that returns for Monday. That's coming up in a few.
All right, thank you. By the way, Mike, you want to start World War III in New Jersey?
Uh-oh.
One of the sandwiches that my good friends at Quick Check sent, and I love them. I love my Quick Check. One of the sandwiches they sent, you want to guess what that is there?
Taylor
That is,
ham? Or
well,
is it
that's
pork
that. There
roll?
you go. Now you've started the war. Now you started the war. Is it
Ken,
Taylor
how
ham or
many
pork
sandwiches
roll?
did they send you? I feel like you're about to
They
feed
sent
an
me like
army here.
4 or 5. Yeah, well, the army is right here in front of you, so you'll get to see what happens in the next hour. Yes, I will be eating my way through, and when I'm 900 pounds, I will tell you how I like it.
Mm,
Actually, everything
it's
so far
okay.
has been so yummy, I
But
can't
you'll be
even tell you.
happy and full, and you'll have a full tank of gas too, right? Because Quick Check, they fill it up with a smile.
A cup of Quick Check coffee to wash it all down. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, Mike. We'll check in a second. It is 46 degrees. In terms of traffic, I just really have one crash want to illustrate here. This is 295 at Route 33. So this is northbound by exit 63 in Hamilton Township. The left lane of the 3 lanes closed. You can see all that police activity, everybody getting off to the side of the road to avoid it. But that's causing about a 2-mile backup right now on 295. We have a disabled vehicle too on the GSP northbound north of the Driscoll Bridge and Woodbridge with the right lane blocked. And a crash northbound on the GSP north of exit 143C, which is Route 124 Irvington with the right shoulder blocked. Your approaches to the GWB right now, upper and lower level. pretty heavy. We see on the lower level, you'll see on the left-hand side versus the upper level. In fact, now both are heavy. So we're told 40 to 45 minutes in either approach to the GWB. Lincoln is 35, Holland is 25. 8:05 is our time, and for nearly 30 years, Nora Ambrose has lived with the painful effects of lymphedema. Now, for those who don't know, that is a condition that often follows cancer treatments, in this case, breast cancer treatments. It can dramatically affect the quality of life. But now, thanks to a groundbreaking new robotic procedure that is available at Hackensack Meridian, Hackensack University Medical Center, Nora's decades long struggle has finally turned a corner. The hospital recently became the first in New Jersey to use the Simani surgical system. That's a new form of super microsurgery that allows surgeons to perform very delicate lymphatic repairs with a level of precision once thought impossible. So joining us now are Nora Ambrose, breast cancer survivor and the first patient in the state of New Jersey to undergo this procedure, and Dr. Richard M. Winters, Chair of Plastic Surgery at Hackensack University Medical Center, who's helping to bring the life-changing technology to patients across the Garden State. Nora and Dr. Winters, good to have you on. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Thank you.
Good morning,
So
Dr.
thank you.
Winters.
Yes, good to see you
Hi,
both.
Nora.
And for those, you know what, we're going to talk to Nora first, but I'm going to give the Reader's Digest condensed version, then let Doc talk about it in detail. You get breast cancer, God forbid, and part of the treatment then causes the lymph nodes that filter, right, your blood, that get rid of the waste. They get damaged. Now, as fluids go through, it swells them up. And when that happens, you get inflammation and pain. That's the Reader's Digest, and I'll let you explain it more clearly. But we asked Nora, you lived with this for almost 30 years. Share what life was like before this new surgery, and now when you finally got this new approach, how your life has changed.
Yes, 30 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 inflammatory cancer, and I did go through surgery, mastectomy, radiation, stem cell transplant, and as a result, I did develop lymphedema in my left arm. It did swell up, it got red. I also had like flu-like symptoms because you get an infection. So I had to take antibiotics. At the time, the only solutions that were given to me were physical therapy and compression sleeves. Well, physical therapy I could only do for so long, and I just depended on the compression sleeves to control the situation and antibiotics for the infections until I had my second bout with cancer, and that's when I learned about the lymphedema bypass and the new technologies that are now available for lymphedema patients.
So, how did you find out about it? Who told you about it? And then, when you had that surgery, how has life changed?
Well, when I had my second bout, Dr. Stephanie Cohen, um, saw that I had inflammation in my arm, and she suggested that I contact Dr. Winters and Dr. Van for a consultation to see if there was anything that could be done in my situation. And that's how, after I had my second mastectomy and I was through with those surgeries, I did have a consultation with Dr. Van, and it was determined that I was a candidate for a lymphatic bypass.
And how you're feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
Uh,
The swelling has gone down. I do continue using a compression sleeve. I have an appointment with Dr. Van this afternoon, a 3-month checkup, and we'll just have to study it for the next 12 months and see if things continue on the right path.
And now we talk to Dr. Winters. Thank you, Doc. I'm sorry to keep you waiting too. So this is amazing surgery. Talk about what this is. In fact, let's talk. Did I give the Reader's Digest definition? Okay. Please talk about lymphedema and how this procedure works.
Ken, that was an absolutely remarkable synopsis. I'm shocked. And so, real credit to you to pick up all that and communicate all that information in such a short period of time. But what's interesting about lymphedema is that our treatment for breast cancer, both surgically and medically, has dramatically changed over the last 40 years. And certainly, over the time since Nora had her first surgical breast resection, her chemo, her stem cell transplant, and radiation. So we're a little more kind and gentle with regard to the therapy, particularly with the number of lymph nodes that are removed these days. So even though the incidence of lymphedema and arm swelling has decreased, there hasn't been a treatment available other than lymphatic therapy and massage, medical treatment with diuretics and other medications, antibiotics when you get infected, elevation, restriction of activity, and certainly compression garments. But as Nora has eloquently stated in other venues, the breast cancer patients almost hate their compression garment as much as they fear the recurrence of their breast cancer. And so a couple of very bright people in microsurgery and plastic surgery figured out that you could properly select patients by doing a study called lymphoscintigraphy, where you inject dye into the web spaces of the finger, and you can use a special type of X-ray machine to identify exactly where those lymphatic vessels are obstructed. And then, if the patient is proven to be an appropriate candidate for surgery, you can actually bypass that lymphatic channel to an open vein right next to it. You can do it through a 1 or 2 inch incision as an outpatient, and you can actually do several bypasses in the same extremity. Patient goes home the same day with their arm wrapped up, hardly any pain, essentially no recovery. And then typically what you like to see over the first couple of weeks is a dramatic improvement in arm swelling as measured by the circumference at different points on the arm, and hopefully in symptoms like achiness and pain, and an improvement in level of activity, and certainly a decrease in the morbidity of things like infections that require medical attention. So there's another side to the whole thing, which is it's an enormous cost to individual patients. And if you reverse engineer the math, somewhere around 15 to 20% of women who've had radical breast surgery for breast cancer, with or without radiation, will develop clinically significant lymphedema that can be remedied with this type of operation. So there are literally thousands of women in the state of New Jersey alone who are untreated and unaware, who are spending thousands of dollars per year on garments and other treatments that their insurance doesn't cover. So,
Amazing. Well, yeah, it is just amazing that we are in a state where you can now get to this point, because for women to say, is the treatment even worth the amount of pain and suffering I'm going to have later? But to have figured it out the way your folks have figured it out is just remarkable. Nora Ambrose,
well,
breast cancer survivor. Yes, go ahead, Doc.
I was just going to say a quick word about the robot, because it really is remarkable that we have such a progressive administration at Hackensack Meridian Health. They recognize the need, and we have a very robust robotic program in terms of our general surgery, urology, orthopedic surgery programs, and they were very quick to agree to purchase it and start the program. You really can't do this surgery effectively without the robotic technology. The vessels are too small.
I don't mean to step on you, Doc. The computer's going to kick us off in about 20 seconds, but I have to thank you both. Nora Ambrose, breast cancer survivor, Dr. Richard M. Winters, chair of plastic surgery at Hackensack University Medical. God bless you both. May you continue to have good health, and your incredible brain should be put on display for the great work you do, Doctor. Thank you both for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
And we are coming right back. So, problems.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 816. We're taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a windy Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Windy, yeah, it'll wake you right up when you step outside. Very breezy conditions overnight into this morning. Peak wind gusts across the Hudson over on Long Island, more than 70-mile-per-hour winds, near hurricane strength. Well, here in New Jersey, out on LBI, Beach Haven had a gust of 51 miles per hour overnight, 49-mile-per-hour winds in Sandy Hook, and 47-mile-per-hour winds in Newark. Very gusty conditions with that northwesterly breeze. Oh, more than 4% of customers in Warren County waking up with no power this morning. As a result, 1% of Passaic customers, 3.5% of Sussex customers. So very, very breezy conditions. Looks like the power has been restored there toward Monmouth and Ocean County. Earlier, you had some sporadic outages. Well, those winds remain today with some frost later on this evening, because once the winds calm down, the dry, cool air is in place. And so northeastern Bergen County and even eastern sections of Essex County, east of the Garden State Parkway, down toward the river, and then Hudson County, featuring the gusty breezes as well, even right down through Union County. So all of the frost that will take over for tomorrow morning, leading to a chilly start, end of the growing season. Bring in the sensitive outdoor plants if you want to keep them for a few more days, because while it's mild this weekend, it gets very cold, and there's a hard freeze on the way by Monday and Tuesday of next week. Wrapping up today with mostly sunny skies as the breezes will relax and temperatures climb into the mid and upper 50s, likely getting to 60 by the end of the weekend, with Saturday featuring some mild weather. The clouds showing up as a few sporadic clouds here coming off of the Great Lakes. This is already lake effect snow. It's that time of year. The season is upon us with the dry, chilly air coming on down from the south and west. But we get one more weekend of mild weather. Could be up near 70 by Saturday afternoon in spots, then a few late night showers into Sunday morning, clearing by the afternoon, and then really chilly weather shaping up for early next week. We'll tell you all about it, Ken, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. Right now, we have a temp of 47 degrees in northern New Jersey, 47 in Trenton as well. In terms of traffic, this just popped up. Let's take the Route 3 cam if we can, Pam. This is on Route 3. Look at that mess. Yuck. So Route 3 westbound, not east, but west. Usually at this hour, we have eastbound issues. This is Route 3 westbound at Main Avenue in Clifton. This is stretching all the way back to like Route 21. So that's a couple miles. The right lane of 3 lanes is closed, and that is causing the mess you see on your screen. So Route 3, and of course, then you have rubbernecking on the other side, on the eastbound side, and that is what you have on Route 3 right now. So that is through Clifton. And now just popped up, look at this, as we speak, I-80 express lanes has a crash. This is west of exit 67, River Road, Hackensack. That's a busy area, left shoulder closed. We'll get that traffic cam in a few minutes for you, but that's going to cause massive delays. We have a crash on 295 northbound at exit 63. That is Route 33, Hamilton Township. Left shoulder is closed. We've had that going on for about an hour now. That is again 295. There it is, right there on your screen, 295 northbound at exit 63 Hamilton. And your approaches to the Hudson River. Lincoln Tunnel is telling us 35 minutes, 25 minutes at the Holland. GWB upper and lower levels quite heavy right now. The upper level is a little bit better, not by much. They both look like they're not moving. We're told 35 minutes for the upper, it says, and 45 for the lower. I think they're both going to be closer to 45. Looks like the upper's not moving now at all. 8:20 is our time, and as the holidays draw closer, one New Jersey favorite, my favorite, is serving up the flavors of the season with a delicious twist. Quick Check is rolling out its brand new harvest menu. It features thick-cut, home-style turkey, hearty stuffing, even a cranberry-infused multi-grain roll. Why, look at this. I just happen to have one right here that I've been eating all morning long. No lie. Check this out. So you have the roll, you see the cranberry in the roll, and it's soft and freshly made. This is not something that's been sitting on a shelf. So the New Jersey-based convenience chain is bringing comfort and nostalgia to customers across the Garden State. And joining us this morning to tell us all about these festive new creations, Amanda Shemansky, Director of Marketing for Quick Check. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
Amanda, I am now in my happy place because you go, there's a Quick Check not too far from me. I just, in spite of the fact that we have you on, no joke, I have been drinking Quick Check coffee almost every morning, probably for a year. And the Quick Check near
I
me knows
love
me
it.
by name. Yeah, so I love Quick Check. And for those who don't
Well, I'll
realize,
give
I'm not
you a
going to
little
pick a bit
cheers.
piece. Hey, salute. There you go. To you. Salute. And there's really coffee in there. For those who think I'm kidding, there's really coffee. I'm drinking it. Excuse me. I'm having this Quick Check Thanksgiving sandwich. For those that don't know what that's about, so we have, look at that. It's actual thick cut real turkey. It's not that preformed stuff with cranberry sauce. You got your stuffing, and this is. I'm going to take a bite on camera and talk with my mouth full. Excuse me. Crazy, Amanda. That tastes like my childhood right there. That is childhood Thanksgiving. What made you guys think of doing that? And forgive my mouth being covered. I don't want to talk with a full mouth.
No,
But
no,
what
I'm
made
so
you
glad that
think
you're
of doing
enjoying
it?
it.
Oh my God. No,
So
enjoyment doesn't even tell it.
we've had
Mm,
different iterations over the years of some sort of turkey, holiday, Thanksgiving, harvest menu item. And this year, and I'm hoping that you're tasting it. The star of the show
mhm.
is really that cranberry multigrain roll. So that
Unreal.
roll is packed with cranberry in virtually every single bite. So that is by far the number one ingredient and something that is super unique, super special to Quick Check. We haven't seen it on any other menu. Whereas, a Thanksgiving style, a harvest style, we often see in our market. But that roll is something that the culinary team brought to the table and said, this is an absolute must for our menu.
I will share with you that when you first came out with it, and I guess I saw in the window, they had it advertised at my Quick Check.
Yeah.
And I tried it. And I said, if it's no good, whatever, I tried it. And I went back, I'm not kidding, later in the day for a member of my family to try it. I did that. And then I saw that one of the other sandwich chains, I won't say which, had right after you introduced it, they introduced it. And I tried theirs and it was okay, but they don't have the roll. You guys have the cranberry roll, made all the difference in the world. And just so that here, let's just cause World War III. Your folks at my local Quick Check were nice enough to send that, and that is a
Yes.
cheese, egg, and what would you call it? Taylor ham or
Is
pork
that the
roll?
pork roll? Pork
Yeah,
roll.
so we're calling it pork roll.
Yes.
That's my fave. I'm sorry,
So
I'm
that's
getting
the pork
emotional
roll,
right
egg, and
now.
cheese, right? And that's on
Yeah, I'm
a
just gonna
fresh
have to do that
baked
too.
Portuguese roll. That roll that you're eating, Ken, is delivered every single morning to every single Quick Check location from Teixeira's Bakery, which is right in our own backyard.
For those who have not had a Portuguese roll, I mean, I'm Italian, and you would think, oh, the Italians say, oh, Italian bread. Portuguese
No.
rolls are to die for.
Mhm.
And that is as fresh as could be. It's chewy
Toasted
yet,
with butter as a
delicious.
breakfast sandwich, you absolutely cannot go wrong with it.
Yeah, it's delicious. This is, I think, for people who don't realize, you guys do everything fresh when you come in. It's fresh to order. That's
Yes.
the amazing thing. It's not a pre-wrapped sandwich in a refrigerated case. This is the real deal. And
Mhm.
I have my app on my phone. And I use that. I collect my points. I love my quick. I mean, you see, I'm not lying to you. I love my Quick Check.
I'm not gonna lie, I got my coffee for free this morning with my points because I do the
See?
exact same thing. I use QC rewards, whether I'm getting fuel, whether I'm in the store buying lunch or snacks for my son, and my coffee this morning was free. I love it. I
There's
love
the
it.
app on my phone, just so you see, I'm not making it up. So I am a quick check junkie. This is awesome stuff, and there's a quick check just about near everybody in New Jersey. I mean, everyone knows their local quick check. You were nice enough to send. Let's see. This is my Christmas day, by the way. The fact that I
Listen, Halloween was last week, so this is our little our post Halloween trick or treat for you.
well, you sent over also a sausage, egg, and cheese. The cheese is so
Yeah,
creamy, and the sausage you use, I don't know where you get it from, but it's the most flavorful. This is what
it is.
sausage
It's
used to
super
taste like.
flavorful.
Flavorful, but not fatty and greasy. That's
Yeah,
what I love about it. Just
yeah.
amazing
And the
stuff.
cheese melts
And
just right in between the egg and the meat.
100%.
I
The
love
other
it.
thing too is you guys still maintain an affordable price. You do not have to break the bank to go to Quick Check and have a very good real bite to eat here. It's really good stuff. And then of course there's your coffee, which I would just brew it myself, but I like having you folks brew it. So delicious stuff. I'm gonna take another sip.
So the
And you even
coffee that
sent
you're drinking
everything
right
along with it.
now is sticky toffee pudding, which is our current limited time offer. Today was actually the first time that I had it because I've been on my pumpkin spice kick, but we just launched this a couple weeks ago. So this will be my new coffee of the season. But customers can come in every day, get that brewed hot or iced, and they can customize it to however they like. Is that your brew box, Ken?
Yes, you gave me a whole box of it, and it's still very hot and nice and warm. And by the way, this is so good, you do not need any kind of sweetener. Just a drop of,
No.
for me, it's just a drop of half and half, and I'm good for the day. It's delicious. I'm
I
gonna have
do
a very
find that
special
most
day.
customers have their unique way of doing it, whether it's adding French vanilla or some sort of milk to it. I prefer to drink mine black as well because the coffee itself is so good and it's number one rated, which is pretty exciting.
I tell you, you guys do it right. There's a reason why you see these brand new sparkling quick checks all over the place now. It's because you do it right. You've perfected what other people's stereotypes in their minds of the type of, you know, audience you're going after. You've perfected and fixed any of the challenges that others may have had, and you do it right. Quick Check is amazing. I can't thank you enough, Amanda. You are, please come on again, Amanda Shemansky, who is the director of marketing for Quick Check. Go to your local Quick Check and check out that Thanksgiving sandwich, if nothing else today, because it will change your life. It has changed mine. Amanda, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Ken. Cheers.
All right. Cheers to you, and I appreciate what you sent over. Not for anything. Getting a little emotional.
Enjoy.
All right, we'll check back with you. Happy holidays too. I'm not kidding. You think I'm kidding? It was amazing stuff. All right, so it is now 8:28, and we'll be right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
A very good morning to you. It is Thursday, November 6, 2025. Right now, 47 degrees at 8:30. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. We're going to have a bit of mixed clouds and sun today, but windy. It's going to make that feel chilly outside. Highs in the low 50s. And straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a detailed Garden State forecast. Mike, this is when the fronts clash, right? This is when the hot and
Yeah,
cold come together. And you
there's a
meteorologists
lot
get
of
all
clashing.
excited, and I just grab a parka.
And it's why there's so much wind, because a lot of feedback I say from everyone saying, why is it so windy? You can't walk down the street without your hat blowing off. And yet here we are with another windy morning. Gusts starting to calm down from earlier gusts over 49 miles per hour. Had some 50-mile-per-hour gusts across the state. Now they're in the 20 to 25-mile-per-hour range as of 7:31. Excuse me, 8:31 this morning. We start off the rest of the day with a calmer breeze into this afternoon, and that'll allow temperatures to warm into the upper 50s, which is pretty average for the first week of November. Get to 59, sun setting 4:47 this evening, so nice and early. As the clouds cleared out this morning, we have nice dry conditions for the rest of the day. The futurecast shows temperatures warming into this afternoon, only into the upper 40s and low 50s, but still plenty of chilly weather on the way for tonight. Then we get another round of mild weather tomorrow with another breezy day, thanks to those winds from the south. And then a quick shower comes through tomorrow evening before clearing into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon is another very warm day, minus the wind. So Saturday afternoon feels great, up near 70 in Trenton, 67 in Newark, and 67 in Hackensack. And again, that's in the shade, so it'll feel lovely in the sun. And then we have a quick sprinkle that comes through early in the morning on Sunday. Could give us some early morning showers on Sunday before departing by the afternoon. There's our high pressure sluice scooting on by, giving us the clear weather today and tomorrow. And then another quick front for tomorrow night gives us our shower. Here's our light rain for early Sunday morning. It doesn't last very long. It clears out by the afternoon. And then the chill is on. That front passes by, setting the stage for a very cold start to next week. Likely see some freeze warnings go up across the places in New Jersey that haven't had freeze warnings yet. And of course, is after a very mild finish to the week and weekend. 66 on Saturday as a statewide average. Again, some places could hit 70. And then we cool off a little bit into Tuesday and Wednesday. Actually, cool off a lot of it. We're down around the freezing mark for most of New Jersey with a wind chill on Monday and Tuesday morning. It will feel like the 20s. So even down the shore, lovely to start off this weekend. I have a feeling people will be strolling on the beaches and boardwalks with temperatures that warm on Saturday afternoon. And then the real chill settles in. Yeah, we'll be back to feeling more like early December rather than mid-November come early next week. So a big shock to the system about 5 days away, Ken. We'll talk more about the drought with the new drought numbers in from the Drought Monitor Service to let you know how that's doing after all of the rain we've had in the last week or so. Hopefully we put an end to the drought across New Jersey in some spots.
Very important. We appreciate that, Mike. Definitely. Thank you, sir. It is 47 degrees now, northern New Jersey and in Trenton. And in terms of traffic, let's go over to Route 3 because this is getting even uglier than it was. There's a crash now, Route 3 westbound at Main Avenue in Clifton. The right lane of the three lanes blocked. And look at what you have, practically immobile traffic there headed westbound. Thank you for the wider shot, folks, at traffic control. And the eastbound folks are definitely rubbernecking a bit. That's causing a little eastbound delay, but the main problem is westbound. That's about 3 miles of severe slowdown through there. Over to Route 80, we have a crash now at the express lanes westbound west of exit 67, which is River Road in Hackensack with the left shoulder closed. Again, Route 80 in Hackensack, and that is causing a lot of delays. 295 northbound, there's 80 right there with the delays. Definitely. Well, now we have a frozen camera. But yeah, there are the delays there, Route 80 in Hackensack. 295, we have a crash now northbound at exit 63, Hamilton Township, left shoulder impacted, left lane of the three lanes closed right now. And we have a disabled vehicle, 76 eastbound by exit 1A. That's down in Belmar, closer to Philadelphia. The ramp lane is closed. Also down Wires Route 46 westbound, east of Knowlton Road in Knowlton Township with the right lane of two lanes closed through there. Your approaches to the Hudson River, 35 minutes across in the Lincoln right now, 20 to 25 of the Holland. GWB upper and lower have been a mess all morning. Just volume, but really, really heavy traffic right now. We have, of course, the Wheel of Death as they upload the camera data from the traffic center. But right now it is, trust me, you could see the volume there. Upper and lower levels are jammed. It's about 40 to 45 minutes in either way. 8:35, and moving into a new home can be exciting, but also a little overwhelming. From finding the best local businesses to learning about schools and parks and community life, new homeowners have a lot on their plate to discover. Well, welcome to the neighborhood makes the transition a little warmer by greeting new homeowners with hand-delivered folders filled with local resources and special offers from all the nearby businesses. William Youngblood is partner at Welcome to the Neighborhood. Robin Salmeri joins him. Good morning to both of you, William and Robin. Good to have you here.
Go ahead, you go first.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, tell us what inspired the idea of Welcome to the Neighborhood.
So I've been in real estate for 20 plus years, and every time a new homeowner, buys a home, moves in, there's always questions. Who's like you said, where's the best park? Where do we go? How we're meeting people, businesses. We need to get something painted, something done. So it's just fielding all those questions from new homeowners. There's just a real need for everybody that moves in.
Yeah, and I mean, even things like what's the local hospital, things like that. Where I am right now, I only moved in here a year ago and needed a hospital for something about 6 months ago. I didn't even know what the closest one was. I was going to drive to a more distant one. But yeah, just the idea that you have everything in a little pack there is brilliant. What inspired the idea there, and what do you pack inside those folders? So if I get a Welcome to the Neighborhood folder, what do I find inside?
Sure. Go ahead, show the folder.
So this is the actual folder that I personally hand deliver. My territory is Chatham and Madison. And what I love about this program is what you're just saying, Ken, is that there's all local business information in here, but there is also community information in here. So in other words, it's a true community resource packet for the new homeowner. And what goes with this is a website, welcometoourneighborhood.com, that the new homeowner can go on to. And one side of the website lists all the community information, whereas the other side lists all the business information. So again, I feel like it's a true community resource packet. We also promote, and I have a lot of different nonprofit information in there as well. Here you can see there's the Rotary, there's a foundation that raises money for underprivileged children. So again, there's a lot of varied information in the packet, and I think it's something that is, very well liked by the new homeowners.
Because if you come into a new neighborhood, you want to become part of the neighborhood, right? It's not just a place to put your head down at night. You want to become part of the community. You want to learn. Otherwise, it's horrible living in an area where you don't know anybody. You want to meet your neighbors, and what better way to meet your neighbors than join a civic organization? You meet everybody in the area, and now all of a sudden you're part of the community. So, talk about how the businesses in the area have been receptive to Welcome to the Neighborhood. It sounds like a brilliant means of connecting local businesses and new businesses that want to greet everyone as well in the area.
So yeah, it's businesses are very excited to see. It's really a different platform. Yes, social media and all the other advertising options that a business has, but we're actually making a personal connection with that new homeowner. The business can put whatever they want really in the folder. So a restaurant can put a takeout menu in, or a rack card, a leave behind, promotional type items. So businesses are excited that, it is hand delivered. There's a personal welcome that goes with it. So it's not just, something that they get in the mail or see online. There's a real personal touch, and that's what the businesses really appreciate, I think.
It's definitely, I'm sure, welcome. This reminds me of the 2025 answer to what the 1995 Yellow Pages were. Remember when you moved into a house, right? You got the big,
Mhm.
thick county book, and then you got the local Yellow Pages. And nobody
Yes.
has, or very few people today have home phones anyway, so there's like no need for that. This puts it right down to the brass tacks. What do I need to know in my community right here? And it's all in one little packet. That's really so smart. It's one of those why didn't I think of it ideas. So when it comes to the civic organizations too, they must have been very, very happy that you included them and it wasn't just strictly a business thing.
No,
Yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely. And that's the piece that I love because again, it's getting all of those nonprofits and the civic organizations right out there to the new homeowners. And I have to say too, as a rep that's been doing this for a very long time, the reaction that I receive from the new homeowner when I ring the doorbell, and at first they're a little hesitant who's at the door, and then when I say who I am and what I'm giving them, they're usually elated and so impressed that their community has something like this, so it really is a very positive interaction.
Yeah. Do you even like do churches, temples, religious organizations in there too, or is that
Yep,
something
yes,
separate?
absolutely,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
When you
any,
move
like I
into a
said, any
neighborhood, you want
community
your
organization.
right. You move into a neighborhood, you want to know, you have your checklist of I want to know my supermarket, my deli, I want to know the best pizzeria in the area, I want to know the best Chinese food, I want to know, the civic organizations, the church, etc. And that's when then it becomes a home when you have your routine, right? You have everything around you. And the fact that Welcome to the Neighborhood does all that, puts it all in a packet is brilliant. What kind of effort goes behind putting all that together? That must be a lot of work on your end.
Well, I usually designate a certain time, like once or twice a week. I believe in, I have a cabinet that has all my brochures in it. And yes, I just sit there for a while and assemble, say 20 folders at a time, that are ready to go out when I'm going to go out and deliver. I try to usually go out on Saturdays for the most part because I want to really get the person at home if possible. Um, so yeah, it's a little bit of work, but I just feel it's very worth it.
Well, it sure looks like you put in the effort. It's just a good thing to have. It's a wonderful community resource. I can't thank you enough, William Youngblood. And I'm sorry, you know what? I didn't have your name down before, so now I got to look up. Robin Selmeri, forgive me for looking away.
That's
It's
okay.
good to have you both on. I would love to see you in my neighborhood. I wish you were in my neighborhood when I moved in. But it's a great thing. Welcome to the neighborhood. When they come knocking at your door, take that brochure and take advantage of all the great neighborhood things that they're showing you. So we thank William Youngblood and Robin Selmeri. Welcome to the neighborhood. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
You bet. It is 47 degrees now, 8:42. Mixed sun and clouds today. Very windy. Wind is going to make it feel chilly. Highs low 50s. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings for your Thursday. We'll be right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 845. Straight to meteorologist Mike Pavetta with the Garden State forecast. Mike?
Good morning, Ken. Got great news about the drought update here in New Jersey. The severe drought has shrunk to just this tiny area up in Sussex County, whereas the rest of the state west of the Parkway and Turnpike is moderately dry. We're doing pretty good, and we've made a lot of progress considering how just a few weeks ago, most of northern New Jersey was in a severe drought. So as we enter dry season, it's always good to see that surplus of rain, even 163% of normal down toward Toms River and even LBI. Seeing a lot of rainfall down there. And the deficit has certainly been made up in the last 30 days, even back over toward places of Sussex and Morris County, where your rainfall deficit has fallen back down to just under a ½ inch. We are dry through the rest of the afternoon today. Less wind developing as well. Even though we started the day really gusty with those gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour, we'll see those the calmer winds take over throughout the end of the day. Dry weather forecast and warm weather specifically through temperatures through the middle of November for the Midwest. We tap into some of that warmth, but it's the slightly drier than average weather through the middle of November that may set up across portions of southern New Jersey. The 7-day forecast shows a good chance of rain going into later on in the weekend, especially for Friday night, tomorrow night, and again on Sunday morning. Sunday all day is not going to be a washout. We'll have a little bit of rain early in the morning, giving way to some clearing by the afternoon, but it's the chill that settles in that takes the headlines for Monday and Tuesday. Wind chills in the 20s starting our work week next week. So enjoy the milder trend that takes over, especially for this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I think Saturday afternoon will be surprisingly exceptional given how warm and sunny it'll be. And then we start to cool things down into next week with that chill, letting you know the season change is upon us. We'll take another check of your forecast all throughout the day. Don't forget, you can always head over to ONNJ.com, get your live radar and 24/7 weather right there streaming on our website.
We continue our AARP New Jersey election coverage, and we're doing this kind of post-election, of course, breaking down what yesterday's results mean for communities across New Jersey and the policies that affect them most.
Joining us now is Mary Saccone, Director of Policy at Disability Rights New Jersey. She is a leading advocate for the rights and inclusion of people with disabilities and has been a strong voice on protecting Medicaid and ensuring access to essential services across the state. Mary, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. So can we just talk a little bit about yesterday's election results, your immediate reaction, and what you think this outcome could mean for people with disabilities here in New Jersey?
Well, I think it's hard to say exactly. There's going to be a lot of issues that are going to have to be addressed with HR 1. Mm-hmm. And it's going to have a big impact on the state budget. HR 1 is going to cost New Jersey a lot of Medicaid dollars and Medicaid services. Now, with the election going forward, Governor-elect Cheryl has talked about how she's going to address, HR 1 and trying to protect the most vulnerable in going forward. But it remains to be seen because there's only so many dollars that are going to be available. We're leading a coalition to try to educate lawmakers on ways to minimize the impact on the most vulnerable, in terms of trying to make sure that people who are subject to the community engagement / work requirements of HR 1 when they go into effect in December 2026, to make sure that they are not cut from Medicaid solely because they didn't provide the documentation.
Yeah.
And we've written.
No, I'm sorry to step on you. You can continue, Mary. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, we have my organization and our coalition has written to the state officials about ways to try to minimize that, such as gathering data, work data, income data from sources that they already have so that they know that they're already working, they're meeting the income requirements in terms of showing community engagement, so that they don't have to show that. So it's automatically given, and that way they don't get cut because they don't provide the documentation, but the state already has that documentation to know that they're already meeting those requirements. Things like that can be done. One, to minimize the people that are being cut off, who are eligible but who would otherwise be eligible but are being cut off because they didn't fill out the requirements. And two, also to cut down on the burdensome bureaucratic stuff that the state has to do, which costs the state as well.
And Medicaid, for instance, just one example, that's 40% plus, a little over 40% of the New Jersey state budget right now. That's a massive amount of money. But with the new federal requirements, that I'm sure is causing headaches for an awful lot of people. All of a sudden, you just see your benefits stop, thinking, what did I do wrong?
Exactly. And, we're not talking about people who are, have a lot of options. We're talking about people who the Medicaid expansion was for adults that are up to 135% or 38% of poverty. That's not a large number, especially in New Jersey. We have people who are disabled, who are on SSI, who are, Medicaid takes care of like 50%, covers 50% of the children in New Jersey. So we're talking about very vulnerable people, and cutting their Medicaid services is going to be devastating for them.
Right. I mean,
Also,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, when that's another question I was going to ask you. People think Medicaid, older people, but you talk about, younger people aging out of once they turn 18, the SSI, SSDI, a lot of those acronyms that are thrown out, how they are affected. And, people trying to navigate this. The services are available, but trying to cut through the red tape and understand what is owed to you, what you need to register for, when you need to register for, that alone can become a full-time job trying to figure things out. As a parent who has aging parents and, children, it's a lot to cut through. So as Mikey Sherrill starts to, begins to look at her first 100 days, what are some of the things that you would like her to focus on to help those most vulnerable?
Oh, there's so many. But yeah, one of the things is, you've got you're talking about when your child turns 18, or in New Jersey 21, once they age out of the school. For people with disabilities, they age out of special education and into the adult system. Well, there's a big gap in services once they hit the adult services. So they call it the cliff, cliff service, basically, because there's not as many services once you get out of special education in schools. So to try to make sure that that doesn't happen and that there are appropriate services. And then you're talking about the other end for families who have elderly who are now living at home but need services. Medicaid is the major funder of home and community-based services for people who want to stay in their home as they get older. Or if they need to go into a nursing home, Medicaid is the biggest funder for that. Without Medicaid, that is really going to hurt those people. And one of the big optional home and community-based services are optional services. So if the state has to cut services, one of the first things they always cut is home and community-based services, which forces people into nursing homes, which is actually more expensive than
this is the thing.
Exactly.
This is the point, right? You fight for services for your children so that when they turn 18, 21, they're more self-sufficient, so they don't have to go into group homes. You have aging parents, you want to keep them in their home as long as possible, but the system is almost creating a way that it's pushing them to where it's going to cost so much more.
It's setting it up for failure, too, because you can only have so many people working a floor at a nursing home. You have 30 patients and only 5 nurses or aides. It's a pretty difficult task.
It is, and there's only so many beds in the state, and people don't want to live in nursing homes. They want to live in the home that they have lived their entire lives. 100%. They want to live with their families, and it is much less expensive to keep them in their homes. So, but if the state has to cut services, they can't cut nursing home services because it's a required mandatory service under federal law. Home and community-based services is what they call optional, so they can cut that. But it's going to cost the state more money because nursing homes are more expensive than keeping people in their homes. And that's what we need to really focus on and try to protect people so that they can continue to live in their homes and live in their communities with their families and friends.
Yeah.
And we're seeing numbers, we're seeing the next generation aging now, getting to that point. It's blossoming in terms of numbers. This is not getting smaller, this is getting larger. So we really need to get together and figure out a solution ASAP, because 10 years from now, you're going to have an aging population that's much larger than it currently is.
People are living longer,
Yeah, they sure are.
with advances in pharmaceuticals. and
Well,
treatment.
you look at the generation right now, it's the baby boomers who are now hitting that point. And my generation, which is Generation X, we are a much smaller number of people. So it's going to be really problematic that there's going to be a lot of need for services for the elderly going forward.
Yeah. So looking ahead, can you just talk a little bit about what hope when it comes to where New Jersey is headed, when it comes to inclusion, accessibility, equity for people with disabilities? You know, people in that sandwich generation like us, we're X generations. You know, we have people who are aging. You know, what can we do now? To better prepare if you have people also, with disabilities who need to be protected.
Well, I've been in this business for 27 years. I've been doing this a long time. And I will say that New Jersey has come a long way in terms of inclusion for people with disabilities. People are being included in schools more, and they're being placed in more inclusive settings. And they find that if people are included in schools, then they spend more of their lifetime included in the community. The rise of group homes and different options besides developmental centers or psychiatric hospitals has been phenomenal since I've started doing this work. And again, at the other end, people are receiving more home and community-based services so they can live in their homes as they get older. So there has been a big improvement in inclusion. However, we've got a long way to go. And it's really important, and that's something we've been fighting for many years, because inclusion means participation in society. It means being working in competitive integrated employment. It means
100%.
being part of your community, going to the local churches,
And
going
not just warehoused, and not being warehoused. You want to be part. That's the whole point of life, and that's what we want to strive for. I didn't mean to cut you short, Mary, only because we're at the end of the show. But Mary Saccone, Director of Policy at Disability Rights New Jersey, you do such a great job for so many people who need you. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
You bet. And it is 8:57. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta says mixed sun and clouds today. Very windy today. The wind will make it feel chilly. Highs low 50s. It'll feel chillier than that. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Thursday, November 6th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato, and we'll catch you again starting tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 a.m. We hope you join us then. Tell all your friends about us. Have a great day, and thanks for watching on New Jersey, ONNJ.com. Take care.